Welcome back, class. Now we are going to create the right side view, a full right side view. We have a start. We've been given what the lower portion is going to look like, and that's definitely the more complicated portion. So that should help us out quite a bit. To get things started, I'm going to extend some information from the front view that we did over to the right. I'm going to go to my construction layer, create a construction line from the very top of the pivot point, and I'm going to change its color just so it is a little easier to see. There you go. Color yellow. And now I'm going to copy it. The reason I'm doing this rather than making the purple ones is because I've already got a lot of purple construction lines and I don't want to confuse them. The purple construction lines are coming over from the foot pedal itself. So we are definitely going to use those. All right. Now I'm going to make the center line. There you go, kind of randomly placed. And we'll start offsetting the thicknesses needed. So the very first one, the pivot itself is 1.5 inches wide. So the offset in both directions will be 0.75. All right. And if you want to make things clear, you can draw that right now. So there's the bottom corner and there's the top corner. The hole that goes through the pivot, right along the other yellow lines I created. There they are. I'm going to turn off my nearest snap. Okay. So that is the pivot. Done. Next thing I want to tackle is the pedal behind it. So the pivot blocks the view of the center portion of the pedal, but you can see in this drawing they gave us that it extends beyond its edges. So some of it's going to be hidden lines and some of it is going to be object lines. So the pedal itself is defined by these two construction lines right here. And we need to get its width. So its width is a total of 3 inches, you may recall. So we're going to offset the center line 1.5 on both sides. And that is the full width of the pedal. I'm going to go to my object layer and draw the outside edges of the pedal. So that's the bottom of it. It goes to this line here that we just offset up to that one and then over. Okay, and the same would be on the other side. The part that we can't see that is being blocked by the pivot is going to be a hidden line. So that would come across from here to here, to the center, and there to there. So that's 1/2 of it. The pedal itself has a radius on the lower corner. You can drop that fillet in right now if you want. Remember, the radius on that is 0.125. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Now you could mirror that to the other side or just create the other side. I think I'm just going to mirror it. And I enter and select this stuff and mirror it about the center line. Perfect. Okay, so that is the pedal itself. How does it connect? Well, that's the arm. So that would be the next thing in question. How is the pedal shown to connect to the pivot? So it's this 3/8 inch wide arm that we need to draw. And its lowest point is right here. So we need to put a construction line for that. So that's right where this dip is, right in here. And actually, let's look at that more closely. I'm going to zoom in on that. So if you were standing over here on the right side and looking through the pivot, you had X-ray vision and you're looking through the pivot, and you can see this. How does this connect to the foot pedal? It connects right up here, right where this construction line is, right here, which is the midpoint of this line. That was what I asked you, where I asked you guys to put that. So I already have a construction line showing where it connects. So I'm good. So I'm going to scoot on over to here, and that's this one right there. So that is the top of the, that's the point where the arm connects to that foot pedal. And then of course it comes out of tangent on the bottom. So it just, from this view, it would start at the bottom and go all the way up. So let's offset that center line, the 3/16 of an inch on both sides, and draw this. So it would start at the bottom and definitely go all the way to the back. So that would be where it would attach on the underside. But this is going to continue on up to this point here and then over. I'll just not bother mirroring this one. And then this is going to be filleted. These corners are going to be rounded. Okay, and that's showing us how the upper portion connects to it. So the lower portion and the upper portion, their hidden lines overlap as you look in this direction. This line here and this line here, you are seeing them on top of each other. And then this one comes back to here and then flares up right here. And again, they overlap one another. And let's check the view that we were given. Let's compare ours against theirs. You can see, sure enough, there is the fillet that we were talking about. It looks like they did a little rounding on the underside as well, where this bottom edge connects to that one. And I could see that. They're trying to show that this connection actually has a run out. What is noteworthy is that the corners on the pivot are square. They did not fillet these corners. That must be a machined face. Okay, so we'll go back. I'm going to zoom out. We'll go back to where we were. I'm not too concerned about this on the bottom, but if you want to do what they did, I'm going to have to put a sacrificial line in here to create this fillet. So let's do that. They did a fillet on the bottom as well. So from here to here, and from there to there. And then we just delete the little line segment in the middle. So that is that for the lower portion. If you really wanted to get technical, you would show this little bit of tooth here. This little bit of tooth, and check this out. Copy this line from the top to there. Does it even show up? The lines would overlap, but you would see that little bit of tooth right there if you were being super technical about it. And the same with the hidden line. It would be there as well. I'm going to leave it because technically that is correct. Although their drawing did not have it. Okay, so that is looking good. Moving on to the upper portion. Let's zoom in on that. That's this edge, this arm's edge right here, coming out where it connects, which is pretty much on this center line. And that is going to be an object line, so that will overlap these hidden lines here. And it's going to go all the way up to the top here. Right where it connects. So let's draw that point of connection. I'm going to zoom in a little closer on the puck. And I am talking about this point of connection right here. We already drew it in this view, so that is it right there. I'm going to extend a construction line from that to that point across. So I just copied that one over. So that point right there is where the arm connects. It's the end of the fillet. You may recall there's a fillet piece in there. So that ends there, and then we'll extend it across. And it's going to look just like this. In fact, I could copy this if I wanted to go through the trouble. I'm not gonna, but because it's easy enough to draw. Okay. All right, I think we're in pretty good shape here. Oh, we got to do the construction lines for the bottom and the top. So let's knock those out as well. We got a few more to put in here. Let me zoom in on that guy. Sorry. So we need to put construction lines showing where the top edge of this is going across, and where the top edge and bottom edge of this one are on the bottom. So let's do that. And also where this guy terminates, which is right here. So we got a few of these to bring across. Here we go. So this one here, where that one terminates, and then of course these points up here, that point there, this point here, where this is a question. Do you go with the round or where the corner would be before the fillet? And I'm going to go where the line would have intersected. So I'm just going to estimate that to be, let me just extend this line down, or just copy it, make a little line segment here. So from there to perpendicular, again, from there to perpendicular. And that is where that would be. So I'm going to copy that line as well, from that corner to that point, and this one as well. So we've got both of these corners marked with construction lines going across. We're going to need that. The upper one, the lower one, and on this guy, again, the upper one, the lower one. We also have the points marked where the arm makes its final intersection with the puck itself. We got right there, and on this one that loops back around, we got it right here. Okay, and they're going to show just like this on both sides. So it's going to be kind of like a copy of this one over here. Okay. So let's see if we can get that drawn out. Let's do what would be the circle on this back face. So its center comes from here, and I'm going to make that a center line. So that's the center of the circle on the back face, right there. And here is the center of the whole thing, right there. The top of the circle is this line here. I'll make it yellow. The bottom of the circle is this line right here. I'll make it yellow. The width of the circle are these outer lines, there and there. I'll make them yellow to really make it very clear. So the circle needs to fit within these lines. The width here is the 3 inches from side to side. And the top to bottom is defined by this view here. We're just projecting it to the right. So this is going to be foreshortened. That's kind of the trick here. It's one of the big things what this drawing is about. You can see when I go to draw a regular circle and I bring it out to this edge, look at that. It's too big top to bottom. So the correct width is too big top to bottom. That's because it is foreshortened in the y-axis. When it's projected perpendicular, that is the only view where we see it as a true circle. But looking at projecting it to the right, it's going to be squished. So it's not actually going to be a circle. It's going to be an ellipse. So here's the ellipse tool right here. You click on the ellipse tool, it's right beneath that rectangle tool. Click on the center, go out to one side, and then go up to the other side. That's what it looks like from the right side. Not like this one here. It looks like an ellipse. So again, I'll delete that. You just click on the ellipse tool. It's the center one that works best. It's this first one, center. You can use the edge to edge and top. If you do that one, it's like this, edge to edge, and then top. But the center one, I think that's the default, and that just requires knowing the center point. There it is. And you click on the center, and then one edge, and then another edge. And the edge direction doesn't matter when you use the center style one. So there you go. That is that ellipse. The thing is this ellipse has thickness. So that's its back center line. Its front center line comes from right here. Check this out, right here. So if I draw that one, I'm going to copy this one from there to there. And that's the center point on the back side. So what I'm going to do is copy this ellipse, C-O, enter, copy it. from its center point on the front side to its center point on the back side. And that is actually what it looks like when you're looking at it from the right side, looking at it toward the back. Let me turn these construction lines off. I'm going to turn the center lines off too. So when you're looking at this thing from over here on the right, you're looking at it that way, you can see the top edge here, and then you can see this corner here, there it is. So this top surface looks solid. On the back side, you can't see any of this. You can't see any of this stuff. So the thing is this portion on the back, this line on the back side is actually a hidden line. So this portion right here is actually a hidden line. And to create that, here's what you would do. It's kind of a fun little trick. Take these two circles right here, copy them both, and I'm just going to scoot them over. Okay. And this one on this side, I'm going to trim out TR, enter. I'm going to trim out this piece. So that's the one you cannot see, right? But it is there, so it needs to be shown with a hidden line, a hidden edge. I mean, if you're being technically correct. So look at this. On this one over here, change this circle to hidden, and then trim off this part you don't want, which is the top side. Trim that off. And now you can just move this part back. So M, enter, move it by its endpoint and move it straight across right back to where you got it from. And then this one you can just delete. So that is a good way of doing that. There's more than one way, but I think that's an easy way. And that shows the puck basically in a 3D view. It's you're seeing it like you were kind of drawing it in an isometric view. But that's what it looks like. We'll turn the construction lines back on, and then we will make the and the center lines, and then we'll make the arm here that goes down. So the arm that goes down is going to be in object lines. Starting up here, this is its top, and then it just goes down all the way to tangent. And I'll drag those lines down further. We'll zoom out to do the rest of that. So those lines will continue down to tangent. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's finish off what it looks like in this top view. I'm going to put these back to construction so they're not so distracting. That's where it connects up on top. That would be filleted. And on the underside here, what it's going to look like, that's going to be hidden lines, and that is going to come in right through here. Right to where this line is, this guy right here. So that is where they're going to connect. And I'm going to draw that with hidden lines. And I made that a hidden line just to show you that that is what's up. And in fact, I'm going to, well, I got to make some sacrificial lines here. So I'm going to do that to that to that. Make those hidden. Making some sacrificial hidden lines here. And then I'll fillet those. So that guy I'm going to put back on construction. And then we'll fillet these guys. I thought I made a line segment in here. Let me try that one more time. From there, Oh, it's because I don't have my nearest snap on. Let me put that back on. You're going to need that to make that sacrificial piece. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3 little hidden line segments that I can use to make the this corresponding piece, but as a hidden line. So here we go. Fillet F, enter, and that line to that line, and that line to that line. Done. And then you can erase the little line segment pieces that are remaining. So it's just this little arc here, and I know it's not that critical, but technically that would be there, and that is just showing this point right here, this point of connection with the arm and the puck, and the same thing up on top, except the one on top you can see with object lines. This one over here is being blocked, of course, by the body of the arm. That's why we're showing it with hidden lines. Okay, I'm going to turn off these construction lines and see if there's anything left we got to do. Definitely need to trim this little piece out. Get rid of that. That would not be visible. You know what? It wouldn't be visible, but it's not that it doesn't exist. So it actually needs to be changed to hidden line. So if that's going to be a hidden line, we got the same scenario going here that we had before, where we need to fake this little line segment, and you know, you're in a similar situation like we had before, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to copy these guys, CO enter, and just copy that stuff, scoot it on over here temporarily. I'll delete it in a minute. And what I need to do is get that little line segment and make it hidden. So I'm going to click on this line, that circle, I'm going to make it hidden. I'm going to trim away what I don't need. So TR enter, trim away that. And then on this side, I'm going to trim away this. All right. And then I'm going to copy that piece over. So CO enter, or not copy, just move. M enter, select it, and you could grab it by the edge, probably the best place. Grab it by the edge there, and then drop it in over here. I know, seems like a lot of work, but not that bad. It's done, and it's correct, so that's what's good. Okay, so the puck is complete, and lastly, all I got to do is connect these guys. That should be really simple. Just connect these lines to the body, and they meet almost at tangent. Let's extend a construction line across exactly where they meet, and just grab one here, copy that down to the end point of that thing. Is that it? Yep, that's it. It's very close to that line. So it's just this guy right here. I'll make him stand out, make him green. And that right there is the end point of that line, or the point of tangency, and that's where these guys are headed. So I'm going to grab them and bring them down to that green line. And the same with this one. And I'll zoom in on that. I'm going to turn the construction lines off. So that is where they end and they become tangent. Remember though that it is a run out. So what I need to do is make that sacrificial line segment there, do the same one on this side, put my fillets in, delete the line segment, that's remaining. And then the tricky part, cutting this thing down by about 2/3 with your nearest snap-on, grabbing its endpoint and dragging it about 2/3 size. And that is a run out. And that is that. So I think, zoom in on this guy. The object lines are complete. And all that remains is doing our dimensions, which we'll come back and do next time.